Y'all, happy to be back. I'm Damon Johansson. I am the host of Mangoes Not Lemons and the owner of HR Mango. I wanted to take a few minutes and tell you a little bit about my background, tell you why I'm so passionate about human resources and so passionate about recruiting and the human experience when it comes to getting a job, working in a job, leaving or exiting jobs. So my background, I go back pretty far. The majority of my career, I went to college for communications and Spanish. Love Spanish. I was able to work with Spanish-speaking people for a number of years and absolutely love the language. So I went into college for communications and Spanish, not really knowing what I wanted to do. And thankfully, my mother had a friend who worked for a company called, back in the day, SOS Staffing Services. They were a temporary staffing recruiting firm. And so all through college, I worked in the staffing and recruiting industry, just getting to know, funny enough, getting to know people, talking to all these different applicants, talking to all these people that didn't even know what job they wanted, didn't have a career path, as everyone commonly refers to it today. They just wanted to try something. And I absolutely, over the years in the temporary staffing industry and the human resource industry, I really gained an appreciation for getting to know the person, understanding their interests, understanding their personality types, understanding the things they like to do, and really doing what I call the match. Matching them to a career where they can feel successful, where they can feel like they're making a difference and can enjoy spending 8 hours a day at. I've always been a firm believer of enjoying what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, stop. Find another opportunity. Find something else to try and really give yourself that chance to be successful and that chance to be happy in where you're spending your time during your day, during your night, whether you're on a graveyard shift, whether you're on a swing shift. All of those factor into your overall happiness level. So when we're talking human resources, when we're talking recruiting, our goal in all of those departments, in both of those departments, is to make sure that the people in the roles are productive, that they enjoy being productive, that they enjoy coming and delivering results in those fields, in those different department areas. And if they're not, our job is to talk to them, figure out what's bothering them, figure out what they're struggling with. And unfortunately, the statistic is very true and still holds true today that it has for 20 plus years. On average, 70% of people quit their managers, not their job. Most people, ironically, like their job and like what they do, but they don't like how they're being talked to. They don't like how they're being measured. They don't like how they're being held accountable for the job they're trying to do during the day. And a lot of it is just the manager's interactions with them makes them feel less than adequate, or they're just not delivering what the manager wants versus what the job wants. There is a difference there. So a lot of the times you have to talk people through how to interact with management, how to interact with leaders you don't necessarily agree with, but you like what your job is and you like the team that you work with. So unfortunately, a lot of HR and a lot of recruiting is what it's real popular nowadays called life coach. And we do a lot of life coaching. We do life coaching for not only the applicants that we deal with, but the hiring managers that we deal with. I probably spend 60% of my time when I'm working a job or I'm working with a client, I probably spend 60% of my time coaching the manager into prioritizing the candidate, understanding the candidate, talking through the job that they have open. A lot of times managers will put a job out there. A lot of companies do this. Companies will put jobs out there and it's not exactly what they're looking for, but it's the job title and what they thought they needed. And then when you start digging into the daily operations of the job, you realize, oh my gosh, you're not looking for a junior level accountant. You're looking for a staff level accountant with an emphasis in banking or an emphasis in a specialized area of finance. And if we don't change that job and change our screening, the manager's not going to like any of the people we're putting in front of them. So not only does it lead to a bad candidate experience because they're all being said no to, but they feel like their resume matches perfectly to the job that's advertised, but the manager is going to be frustrated because they're not getting the people that they think they need versus what's actually written in paper. So it's really, really important for us as recruiters to not only bond with our applicants and understand their background. And over the years, I can't even count how many people they applied for one job, but we actually steered them to another job and another career field, and they were super thankful, super happy that they didn't even consider that as a job for them, that their personality type, that their education background, all the pieces they brought to the table that make them whole really fit this other position better than the one they were applying for. And that brings a lot of joy to me. There's a lot of personal satisfaction in helping someone get a career, in helping someone land that next job that they didn't even know that they could be a fit for. So there's a lot of understanding in the human resources area and in the recruiting area of knowing your people, knowing your managers, and understanding how to bridge the gap between the two. So, and we've had a lot of experience in the past where we've had really good employees. They're stellar, they're top of their team, and by default, because they're the top, they promote them into a manager role, and 6 months later, they're on the verge of letting them go. They're on the verge of they didn't give them the tools to be successful as a leader, to be successful as a manager. They didn't teach them how to now deal with a team and manage with a team. And so where you had this stellar A-performing employee, you promote them thinking you're rewarding them, but without the tools and without the additional information, you're actually setting them up to fail. And where you had this stellar leader, now you're on the verge of having to let them go. So there's a lot of common mistakes in the world of employment and the world of working with humans. We're all human, that we can trip up and we can make mistakes, and managers make mistakes and employees make mistakes. And at the end of the day, I think the vast majority of the people we work with want to do well. They want to feel successful. They want to feel like they're delivering a good product or a good time of their service in that employer's environment, and sometimes they just don't know how. And so part of my passion in HR, part of the reason I launched HR Mango, was to have a better opportunity to get to know the people we work with, to get to know the clients that we work with, and have a stronger relationship of trust with them. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the people we put in front of them, we have a goal at HR Mango with our team and all my recruiters that work for me. We have an 80% goal that if we're doing our job right, if we've heard the managers right, 80% of the people we put in front of them will get an interview. They're worth that manager's time. Ultimately, we probably find 95% of the applicants that we get to our jobs, unfortunately, aren't qualified. They don't match what the manager's looking for. So our job is to really get to know them, make sure they are happy, will be happy in that role before we ever put them in front of the manager. And then the manager gets a chance to get to know them and gets an opportunity to meet them. One of the common misconceptions in our industry, one of the biggest challenges for the recruiting teams, both internally, inside of organizations, and externally, third-party recruiters, is not having a direct conduit to the hiring manager. Companies, people, third party, everybody, if your recruiter does not have direct conversations with the hiring manager they're trying to support, if you have an HR person in there that's buffering, if you have any obstacle that hiring person doesn't directly communicate with the recruiter, the odds of being successful in that fill drop dramatically. And that's primarily because a lot of the time the managers want what they want in their mind, but it's not necessarily written in the job description. And without that open conduit of the recruiter dealing directly with the hiring manager, it goes down pretty bad. The candidate experience goes bad. The manager gets frustrated and says, hey, you're not finding me the people I want. I need another recruiter. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a negative experience for everybody. So in HR, we have a passion for helping people find a job that they could be successful in. We have a passion for working with the right clients that treat their employees well, that value the human element of what they're bringing to their team. We're also big supporters of hybrid jobs, a little bit of remote, a little bit involved. Work-life balance is really important to us. So hopefully all the companies that you interact with on the HR Mango side, if you're an applicant, hopefully you're happy with all the companies that we might place you in front of, because we value what they're doing at their organization just as much as we value your time as an applicant. So employers, be mindful. Make sure your recruiters are talking directly with the hiring managers on a regular basis. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we hope everyone has a great experience and that they understand the true value behind human capital in the workforce. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for taking a few minutes to get to know Damon, a little bit of my background, a little bit of why I love HR, why I love recruiting, and hopefully we can help you with your next hire. Thanks. Have a great day.